Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Welcome to a new viewer spectate. You guys tend to like these, so if you do like them, please comment and like the video, and it kind of tells me, yeah, these are good. The reason why I like doing these, and kind of I give it in the intro most games that we do them, is because obviously, you know, nowadays the main account stuff is doing really well. We're in Master, 100 plus LP, and you know, that's the top 0.2% of the game. So for the average person watching, it's fun to watch, I'm sure, and it is educational in places, but fundamentally the game is very different. So actually doing a viewer spectate in a more average rank, it allows, I'm hoping, the viewers to see their own games. You know, not specifically Ace, this is his game, but if you're in a similar rank to Ace, you'll see similarities, and that actually can probably be more beneficial to help you climb than watching a master game. So we're watching Ace play Mord. So obviously we have done a bunch of viewer spectates on Ace, and he has jumped around on, you know, a little bit on roll here and there. I think we've watched his support a little bit, Nautilus and stuff. I think he's going up in top lane. I'm not 100% sure if it's because obviously I've now jumped to top. So if he's watching a lot of me play top lane, then at least, you know, he's getting a sense of watching what I do. It might be that. Mord's obviously in my champion pool, and hilariously a champion that is another roughly in my champion pool, even though it sounds icky to say, Warwick top. So obviously we started playing a bit of Warwick top, even though I don't think it's an amazing respectful pick. I started playing it because it is effective, and I you know, what, a month and a half ago I said I don't want to be low diamond, let's go top lane and let's play broken champions, and that does include Warwick. So this specific matchup, I think I have played it. It is, how do I say, Warwick favored initially, and that's the thing, is you don't really want to be taking level 1 to 3 fights against a Warwick as a Mord. You know, Mord can be a bit of a lane bully, but it's more, as the game goes on, Mord will have more tools to deal with a Warwick. So build-wise, Rylays will just be in generally like fantastic against a Warwick because he's a pure auto-attacky type of champion. Yes, he can get on you. You know, he's got his ultimate. Hopefully a good level. Oh, nice. That's fine. Happy with that. Lovely to get a flash immediately out of the Warwick. But yeah, Rylays is such a good item against Warwick because it slows him, so he cannot physically get the auto-attacks on. This is a matchup on Mord that I would definitely opt for a fairly early Bramble. I don't know if Ace does, but that's something that I would do, because it is that kind of what you're wanting to tone down the power of what Warwick can do. So one, obviously the armor in general help, the healing, the anti-healing will also help. And you are eventually as a Mord looking to try and even get 1v1 kills on a Warwick. You know, that's Warwick's game, is looking for 1v1 kills, but also as Mord, that's what you're wanting to do. This is where, again, bit of passive use. I would have potentially done a little bit more damage there. And then what I would also do right now there, could have done it maybe a tiny bit earlier using the W to maximize the healing, because already when you press W, it was already starting to recede. So, you know, when you have a free moment to double W, you get the most amount of healing. So one other thing with this matchup is Warwick obviously does not run teleport. So in modern League of Legends, a lot about top lane is wave manipulation. And, you know, even though I say I don't do it, I do. You know, if you're paying attention to the games, even though I may not freeze it for 3-4 waves at a time, I'd walk towards your minions. So again, you want him, if he's going to take the fight, this is good. He wants stand-in minions. So like, you got to be careful of his barrier. Don't get fully baited. Actually, him having... this is where you got baited. You've got your W, and then you could maybe continue. A fraction of a second, a little bit earlier there, he could have died. It was close, though. I like the idea. It was the amount of minions you had in your favor there. The Warwick kind of didn't see, or didn't really think about it. But this is where I would go back, use your teleport. You know, Warwick, you could maybe punish it. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have barrier, but it is risky. So I like the decision of going back. And if I was, what I would do as Mord, I would teleport here. Like right in his face. I would be as quick as you possibly can going to back, and I would teleport right there, right now. Because again, he doesn't have TP, he doesn't have any summoners. So if you get on his face right now, you could in theory deny him a lot. Where obviously Ace is taking the route of walking back to lane. Does have the double cloth armor first, so is going for Bramble. But yeah, this is definitely an example that I would have used that TP. You know, he's gained all of the minions while you've been out of lane, and your advantage is you have the TP. He does not. So that is something that I would say right away. is going to get a tri-bush ward. I like the ward because right now we don't have any vision on where the Lee Sin is. And this is where now okay, so you've got item advantage. You need to be careful of XP. So obviously he stayed in lane the entire time. So in theory, he is ahead of XP right now. So this is where I would always consider what he's going to be at. Could have potentially have traded even a little bit more there because he started to get minion aggro. When you have that item advantage, you are looking, or you should be looking to have that punishment, but there is that air of he should be level 6 pretty soon. He probably will be level 6 at the end of this minions. And again, obviously we're not in the highest rank, but even the Warwick, oh, nice, got his E out, which again, E is, oh, there's the level 6. I think you'd be actually kind of okay right now. So with considering you've got the double cloth armor, you're nearly level 6 yourself, I wouldn't actually play that with like scared right now. He may go for an ult. Again, when especially you put yourself in that situation that you're standing away from minions, he'll definitely be aggressive. One of the advantages of an early game is actually minion damage does more in the early game. You know, no one has stats or anything like that. So if Warwick starts getting aggro on minions, that's actually a time that you want to be looking aggressive. I right now would go very aggressive on this Warwick. I know it's scary, but he's going to have barrier up soon. I would right now try to claim the territory, and I would push the minion wave in as fast as possible, because what you're wanting to do, it's not good having the minion wave here. This is good. Pushing it in. And Warwick is fine. Take this fight. 100%. He's got barrier up soon, but you've got such a big health bar advantage. The barrier probably wouldn't even matter right now. And obviously, remember the Death Realm. It takes stats away and gives more stats. So it increases your 1v1 potential exponentially. But we do really need to push this wave in. And that's fundamentally what we have to do. This wave staying here is bad. You know, it's that fraction. You get a bit of tower aggro. Nice hits. Get a bit of tower aggro, and you could just die. So, and you know, I'd be very careful with that positioning. Again, getting close to the tower, then an instant Warwick ultimate, that's where you can just get a random death. But yeah, we need that to reset, because then the risk of Lee Sin also goes down, and it has finally reset. What I would also look to potentially do very soon is ulted. If that E hit, I would have then ulted straight away. Because this Warwick is just not going back, which is weird that he's not. I would not immediately just auto-attack just last hit, because what you would like to do, or what I would do, is I'd let this push a little bit towards me and see what the Warwick does. If he doesn't base, and then you've basically got him overextended away from tower, then I would 100% go for an all-in look to kill him. If he does go back, then you can then push it in. So I right now would look for a fight. If any of these E land, I would immediately ult. Obviously, the Warwick may know that. He's now on the back foot. See that Q? I don't like that Q. You were having really good lane dominance. The Warwick was scheduled catching up in farm, but now just pushing it, you're giving him free farm. You don't want to give him the free farm. He has to earn it. And if he gets impatient, then that's when you should be able to get the kill. When you've got this big of a HP advantage, that should be what you should be doing. Now, again, you have the teleport. So walking out a lane to get a bit of just random vision in the river is fine. But needing to like make sure you use the TP at the right time, because right now you could go back. Oh, don't go on the right side. Don't go on the right side. The reason why I'm saying don't go on the right side, because if the fear got you at the like a little bit longer in that fear, it would have just been in tower aggro, and then he could have ulted at the perfect time to get you into tower aggro while being CC'd. That would probably be a dead Mordekaiser. So again, we're in the same position as we were a few minutes ago, of this kind of like no man's land near the tower. So again, would like to push this as quick as possible, get the lane back into the middle, away from this dreaded tower, and then not auto pushing it completely. So like I said earlier, like, you know, it's kind of a meme saying Huz doesn't do lane control. I do it a fair amount, just not to the extent of what other people may do in the rating bracket I'm in. I will not freeze it for 3, 4, 5 minion waves in one go. That's too boring. But I will manipulate the wave to let it push towards me, let it be, you know, at the right time. So good little trade. Does get feared. So again, you can notice this, by the way, you are winning every single trade, but you can't capitalize on it, because if I had to guess, Ace doesn't feel like he can ultimate, because Warwick will just probably not die because he's probably too close to the tower. So that's where we need to think of, like, right, don't let the wave be here. make it go at least in the neutral part of the lane, so then if you ult the Warwick, he's not immediately at his tower. I would ult early, so that isn't... We're in the Mord ult, by the way. Warwick ult's going to come through. Massive healing, obviously. We don't have Bramble yet. He still has Barrier. But we have no mana on the Warwick. And we haven't used... Oh, we have used our W. But nice E. There's the Barrier. Good W use. I would be very careful getting just auto-attacked, and there we go. So, do eventually die. So, I would say there's a few things there to go. Standing a little bit too still. Fundamentally, you know, during the ultimate, you can't help it. You're suppressed. But during just the normal combat times, just letting a Warwick auto-attack you obviously is just going to get you killed. Having a bit of just movement, that's the benefit that what Mord can do. He actually does a lot of damage while he's on the move. His passive is doing constant damage around him. You can, while you're moving, cast your Q, continue moving. He's not that auto-attack reliant. But Warwick is purely auto-attack reliant. So that's one thing I would definitely say. A lot more movement would be very good. Obviously, we do have the Bramble. We do have the plated steel caps now, which is good. Could have probably, you know, a lot of it's the wave like manipulation. I would definitely say if Ace, you're looking to play more top, we need to get more wave manipulation in terms of when you should let it push, when you need to like not just auto let it happen. Because basically most of this game has just been sitting in this kind of pocket area, realistically giving the Warwick way too much farm. So the Warwick, again, right now, I would be fine with fighting this, but again, not standing still. There's a lot of minions on your side. You've got anti-heal, you've got plated steel caps. There's a lot of good things, but not standing still. You still don't want to let him auto-attack. That's the big thing. You don't want to let a Warwick auto-attack. Now, again, first item that Ace, I hope, buys is the Riley. Because that Riley is the ultimate tool of, right, I'm slowing you in melee range while still doing damage to you with my passive. What are you going to do? So, again, this could be okay. Yeah, this should be actually kind of fine. Fight him. Good kiting. I like the kiting. And wonderful. That's what we want to see. Warwick did use his ultimate, but the kill happened. That's good. See basically the difference. And obviously Ace himself was probably, like, he's already played a little bit different within this game, so he's probably already thinking about it. But notice, everybody, the difference of movement. The fight here, where Ace just kind of was like, right, I'll try and tank you. I've got double cloth armor. You have nothing. He lost. The moment that he was starting to move here and there, it makes such a big difference. So Lee Sin is in the area. Ultimate, I like this decision. Lee Sin doesn't actually have anything. Do we have W? Close. Very close. Obviously, Kane was doing these over here. Lee Sin does get the kill. It's not a big deal. But Blade the Ruined King already complete. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. I'm not even sure Kane gets this. Oh, he does just. And you get an assist. Hey, that's not bad. We take those. We take those. Ooh, okay, so first item, what looks to be what Ace is doing is potentially Leandri's. Now, again, Leandri's, fantastic item for Mordekaiser. Not the item you should go first. So, again, fundamentally, your damage on a Warwick early, to kill a Warwick early, well, how do I say? When you're playing against a Warwick, your goal is to basically demoralize him in the 1v1. The way you demoralize a Warwick, you've already done the first thing. Bramble, fantastic. But he's all about auto attacks. We've already seen it. You win when movement is in your favor. And the thing that would help movement in your favor is having the constant slow of Riley in melee range. So that's the thing I would say. Oh, nice Q. Riley is by far... Nice Q again. Again, I don't know if I would want to take this fight completely. He's got barrier back up. Obviously, I don't know. Nice Q again. Warwick does have ultimate, and you don't as Mord, so that's where I'd be very careful. Has hit level 11, but obviously the one thing we're in, I can't remember what rating we're in. What rating are we in? We are in Bronze 3. And it's worth knowing Ace is a higher rating player than Bronze 3. So right now in solo queue, Ace has played 33 games. He's won 23, lost 10. He's got a 70% win rate. So Ace is probably a silver player, not a bronze player. This could maybe be bad. But Warwick won't commit to his ultimate. He doesn't want to. So why won't Warwick commit to his ultimate? So there's 2 times a Warwick will ult you. And again, I speak from experience, obviously playing a bit of Warwick now in the last month and a half. they either will do it initially, if they are stupidly confident and they know they're going to win, they can open with their ultimate because it doesn't matter. This Warwick is not that confident, so he's not the type that is going to open with the ultimate. The other type, which is the more common Warwick, which is what this one is I'm going to wait till I'm really low health and then I'll ultimate because it's going to heal me back up to full health, or you know, up to half health from being really low. That's what this Warwick is. So that's where you've got to be careful, and that's where, like, in the fight where Ace won with having good movement, that's where it went in the Warwick's, you know, wasn't in his favor that he left his ultimate really late, because he actually, while he died, he was ulting. You know, he went for it as he died, so he waited too long to get the ultimate off. So we've got Vision of Lee Sin in River. Again, mini-maps and talking about mini-map stuff is quite a big topic. It's always been, like, people... You know, how do you get better at looking at minimaps and stuff? It's honestly one of the things I've always found the hardest to actually help people get better at. So roaming play happening. Interesting play. Could turn of maybe on the Warwick a bit earlier. And obviously one of the beneficial things, if you ulted him, which is good, he now can't get away. So it forces the 1v1. But Kane is still in the area, so you just straight up murdered him. Like, he didn't ult, he didn't use barrier, so you just straight up murdered him. He didn't use anything, and if I had to guess why Warwick didn't use anything, the Warwick was probably more focused on, right, I need to wait until I survive this Mordal, and then I can ultimate away because I know Kane is around. So he probably just didn't expect the absolute damage that Mord has. So that's good. I like the kill. Obviously, enemy team is fighting. Lovely double knock up into Yasuo ultimate. That's really good. Diana ultimate coming down. Does a decent amount of damage. Kane goes in. Diana flashes. If these two plays get a lovely... Oh, dude, this is... Bronze nowadays. It's surprising. It's honestly not bad. And again, part of it is, like, League is such an old game. That even, like, lower ranks... The older the game goes, even lower ranks and average ranks, the players aren't bad. Just genuinely, they're not bad. So Warwick is having some walkies, not returning. Oh, make sure you pick that up. Good. And now you can fight with the Kane. I would stand. So right now I'd move. I'd go right in front of the Kane. Okay, the Warwick is losing his mind, apparently. Bot lane tower's been killed. But yeah, I think the Warwick has probably got himself a little bit tilted, to be honest. Because fundamentally... Warwicks are just used to stomping 1v1s very easily, and I'd say especially in lower ranks. Because it's kind of just a default, I will win 1v1. And obviously, initially, the Warwick did get a solo kill here or there, but Ace is doing better as the game goes on. I still think Riley would be the better option. Obviously, Leandries will give you a lot more damage in general, so if you start to snowball, it's not a bad thing. But it's just where this Warwick is... The Warwick has started to play a little bit peculiar. If the Warwick played, let's just say, standard, I'd say Riley would definitely be the better item. Hello, Diana. Can we get a Sona? She doesn't have ultimate. That should be a kill for you. Again, I don't always chase, and one thing I would say Ace needs to do is go back. Oh, she has ult. Oh. So Ace right now, I can't look at my gold, but he's going to go from having components to a full Leandry and a chain vest. So I don't know if I would be building anything like a chain vest tank item itself on a Mord. Oh god. Ooh, I like the aggression. Ah, I'm sending a message. Okay, fair enough. I don't mind that. Yeah, but this could be maybe finishing Thornmail. I honestly think you could just leave it at Bramble. That's the thing. Like, the anti-heal, Warwick's dead again. The anti-heal at Bramble is there just to help the kind of get rid of the absolute insane healing in the early to mid game. What you want to do, and what I've always said to people, is most of the time when you're playing League, you don't want to always focus on diminishing the negative of an opponent. And like, what does that mean? Buying a Bramble is focusing on stopping a Warwick, right? It's not doing anything for Mord. What is helping a Mord is Leandries, it's Riley. And most of the time when you're playing League, you actually want to focus on that element. On most champions in the game, you want to focus on making your champion's fantasy stronger. Where obviously completing Thornmail is trying to diminish the Warwick. Now the thing with that is, as the game goes on, you may lane against the Warwick less and less and less. So that just buying a Thornmail is specifically against the Warwick, but you might not be against him all the time. Now, for some reason, the Warwick has come down for you, and he's standing still. You are probably strong enough that you can just hilariously now kind of stand still and beat him. Early barrier. And kabonk. Oh, ultimate. Oh, you can't. A little bit too much standing still, I guess. But that's the thing is... Oh, okay. So you've actually... Oh, no, you did. So, yeah, you've completed Thornmail, and now you've got a blasting, which is presumably for Riley. What I would say there is the chain vest just sitting there really wasn't doing that much. With extra damage, those Qs that you nearly killed him, extra damage probably got you the kill. And as I said, like that's it to me is most of the time when you're playing League, you want to live to the champ. You live to make... okay. You want to live to make your champion's fantasy stronger. Mord is a 1v1 powerhouse. I'm going to ult you. I'm going to stand on top of you with Riley. If you're a melee champion, you cannot get away from me. And that's the way that you should play. The Bramble in the early game is, yeah, occasionally you need to stop like something that is just overpowered, and Warwick's healing is overpowered, so you just need a Bramble. I would not finish the Thornmail until pretty late into the game. Like, I would say... I would definitely just go Bramble first, which is correct. Then I would have gone Riley. Then I would go Leandries. And then maybe then finish Thornmail. But to be honest, maybe even another item before. So Kaiser doing some odd plays. Lee Sin and Diana are going for top lane. But you're here. There could be a Lee Sin, which there was. But yeah. So... You obviously already got the tier 2, so I'm not really sure what these two are doing. Obviously, it's Annie's support, but it's weirdly farming Annie's support. She's got 48 farm, which is a bit peculiar. So realistically, what I would do is push this out and then base pretty quick. And then as a team, you should definitely be looking to group for Adakan. Now, your teleport isn't too far away. It's 26 seconds as of right now. But... The thing with the teleport, obviously, TP is good. You definitely want to take TP on Mord. But when you're against something like a Warwick that doesn't have TP, the Warwick basically has to commit to one of two things. Either I am splitting, and that is it, or I am going to group for a play preemptively. That's basically it. Bam! Oh, Chain CC, get in his way. Okay, he's dead. Always, like, try to get on top of the Warwick, as it were, because if he tries to ultimate away, he can just latch onto you. Which I think Ace was kind of doing there. Obviously, the last tier 2 is in mid. Again, this is where you've got one number advantage already. I potentially would have already gone down. Whoa. I, as a team, would have potentially gone down to go for Annie Flash. I would have gone for Adakan, probably. There's the Tibbers. There's the all-in for the enemy team. If I was Ace, I would have ulted. I would have ulted the Kaiser immediately. Unfortunately, enemy team does get some nice kills there. Kane is trying his best. He gets in the Lee, and he's probably going to get the Annie as well. Oh, he didn't. See, that's where, for the Kane, I think, commit, you're dead. If he queued towards the Annie, I think the Annie would have also died. But, you know, again, we are in a more low rank, so you've got to respect not perfect play is going to happen. Again, the tilted Warwick is probably going to just go for an absolute all-in without having to think that much. Ultimate to get the nice stats. And then this is, again, just kite away, wait for the Q. So, again, more movement. So, usually what I try and do when it comes to these commentaries, when I'm trying to obviously help people, is focus, you know, there's a lot of things that we could mention, but there's no point mentioning 20 different things to improve when there's one or two major things. And the major thing so far, I would say, is definitely it's movement based. It's kiting, because that, if you're looking to play a lot more Mord, that is one of the strengths of Mord, is he can damage and move. So if you just kind of kited a bit more away, a little bit further in movement to give you time for cooldowns to come back up, then you could have re-engaged and you probably would have got the kill. Obviously, it goes without saying, I've mentioned it a few times, that's where I think Riley would have been more beneficial than Leandries. But if you didn't finish Thornmail, right now you would have had Leandries complete, you'd have had a Riley complete, and you would have had a Bramble. So that's where it probably, it's just the order of the build, I think, could be slightly changed. And again, ignoring Hexgate. Everyone's ignored the Hexgate. That's just where if we change the order a little bit, I think that makes a lot more sense. Now, are there any games that I would have done like this? Honestly, probably not. I don't think there's a game that I would go Thornmail second item. Warwick? He just was standing in a bush. Nice. So this is going okay. Big ulti, big combo. Wonderful. That was really nice. Lovely E. Really good. Ooh, can we get that kill? Bonk with the head. Bam. Wonderful. That was a really good combo. Nice. Very good. So obviously, Kane can go do Dragon. You can push for that tier 2. Atakan obviously is something that I would definitely consider, but getting the tier 2 I think is a completely fine call right now. Gets you a bunch of free gold. Lani is here, but she shouldn't really stop you from doing it. Ooh, okay, it does because of Thornmail. Or it would have happened with Bramble anyway, but because she auto-attacked you, she took damage, and you get the tower aggro. So Atakan has now been pinged. So one thing I would say definitely that Ace needs to do overall more, teleport. We are not utilizing teleport at all. So when, again, the strength of teleport is there is a world that you could be the other side of the map putting, let's say, positive pressure like the Warwick's doing right now without teleport. But you could be pushing a wave, putting positive pressure like, you know, oh, someone has to go there and deal with the wave, but then you actually just TP. Nice. Ooh, just nearly died. And Warwick, it does seem finally the Warwick is kind of committing to what I was... Nice Yasuo Q. And the Warwick is committing to what I expected him to do a while ago, is just purely commit for split push. Because Warwick sucks at team fighting. Like, he's one of the worst champions of team fighting in the game. There's the Riley, though. So that should help a lot when it comes to 1v1ing the Warwick, but only if movement is involved. If you're just standing still, you're slowing somebody, but that's not doing anything. It only matters if you're using the slow of having Warwick trying to chase you, and you're slowing him so he can't get, you know, auto attacks on a lot. That misfortune, I would say, was very brave. With how this Warwick has played, I am shocked that he didn't just immediately just go for the misfortune, to be honest. He is kind of trying to escape, I guess, but he's getting slowed. He should just immediately ult. He's being so greedy. Kane, there's the... Oh my god, he used flash over his ult. And now he's still going to die. That's bizarre. So he flashed, which is a 5-minute cooldown, but didn't use the ultimate. That's probably about a minute cooldown right now. And again, he could have ulted and flashed. He could have used both. He didn't. He just used flash. Weird. Right, so Baron is now being done, which is good. So again, still has teleport. So again, I don't mind the fact that you're going to go help with it, but we definitely, I would say, need to utilize the side lane power of top lane. And, you know, it's a big benefit of having teleport is having that side lane pressure and then going, right, that's pushing in. Someone on the enemy team is having to deal with this. I then can now use my TP to get involved where the other top laner has to deal with that wave for the next minute. So there's definitely an improvement I could foresee. So realistically, I'd say the 4 things that we can try and focus on moving forward. So firstly, movement, especially when it comes to Mordekaiser, utilizing movement, you know, while doing damage, because that's a big element of Mord. Secondly, teleport usage. We may have only teleported, I think, twice this entire game. I think we teleported once to top lane, and then we teleported, I think, to bot lane to go get that Kaiser kill. So fundamentally, like, think about if your teleport is most of the time available, and let's say it's been available for over 5 minutes, well, there's a time in that you could have used teleport and it would have come back on cooldown. So utilizing it more makes more sense. And then finally, also wait on movement, teleport usage, nice Q, any nice knock up. He just refuses to use his ultimate. So this Warwick, part of Warwick's strength with his ultimate is, yeah, using his ult to fight people, but it's also a good escape tool, and this Warwick is just refusing to use it as an escape tool. Other things, I would say build. So definitely, you know, the builds, when you look at the items, it all makes sense. I just think the order of it could be manipulated a little bit differently. And the final thing, I haven't really mentioned it that much, but it is just something that, you know, even I need to work on. It's happened again. Farming. So we have missed a lot of cannon minions, especially a decent amount of farm in general. I struggle with that, and I'm a master player. So farm is always, you know, practically every time we do a viewer spectate, farming is going to be one of the default categories where improvement can happen. And, you know, if you're looking in the game, 175, you're in the mix of the farm. But I would say there's a good of general farm that has just been kind of missed. Bam. I would say there's an easily 30 to 40 farm easily that I would say we could have got. So again, right here, no movement, but you were strong enough it didn't matter. So now it doesn't matter because you're so far ahead. But normally moving would be good. But that is the game. 6-5-11, good score. Obviously the Warwick 3-11 had a pretty tilter. But no, not bad. I think Mord is a very good champion, and I think he's a very effective top lane champion in general at the moment, because a lot of top laners don't, well, they want to fight on their terms, you know? They are like, right, I'm playing Warwick and I'm only going to fight in this little window of when I want it. Well, that's the thing a Mord does really good with his ultimate is, you're with me, bud. You're in my arena. Fight me. So they can't avoid you as easily. So I think he is a very good champion in that respect. But overall, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully some people also saw maybe themselves within some of these games, and you can get some advice here and there in the more average ranks, which is good. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Welcome to the Rift, where the legends play. It's Aussie Games bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine, you'll learn the game and have a good time. Thanks for watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that like and sub, join the family tree. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the Aussie dream.